Hey, it's Irina Pozan, and welcome back to the Career Cravings Podcast. This podcast has a simple mission. It's to help ambitious professionals like you build the career and life that you've been craving. Over the past 15 years, I've worked as an HR leader, designed hiring systems, led recruitment teams, and I've sat on the other side of the hiring table. I've seen what works in today's job market, what doesn't, and what separates those good candidates from the ones that actually land their dream roles. Now I'm bringing everything I've learned straight to you. Each episode is packed with actionable insights and tools to help you land your dream role sooner. Now let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back. Before we even get into today's episode, in case you've missed my huge announcement over the last couple of weeks, I am hosting a free live training session on how to land your next HR role in 90 days or less with all fresh content. And we're diving super deep into resumes. What's working right now? How do you get noticed? How do you stand out from the ATS system? The things that are specifically working super well in resumes, interviews, job search, networking, all of the things. And if you've already saved your seat, I am so freaking excited to see you there. And if you haven't, swipe up in the show notes and save your seat with that link there. It's all happening on April 10th. And P.S., if you're not in HR, don't worry, I got you. There is another link in the show notes for a training for you as well. But I know we have a huge HR community here. The feedback that I get from this training is amazing. People walk away super inspired. You have other HR professionals there that are facing the exact same challenges you are in today's market. And also you learn how to make changes so that you do stand out in this crowded job market and are able to land your role as soon as possible. So join me live. Make sure you come with a pen and paper ready. You already know there's going to be a ton of actionable insights because that is just what we do here. See you on April 10th. All right, now let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 2 of this series, where I'm breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes that I see job seekers make in their search that keeps them stuck for months. And today we are covering the second biggest mistake that I see job seekers make over and over again. And if you feel stuck in your search, like things are not moving fast enough, you're not landing the interviews that actually excite you, you're not hearing back from those dream companies or maybe those remote roles that you're looking for, and you're just not landing an offer fast enough, then this series is for you. And what I want you to do first is, if you haven't listened to episode 1, I highly recommend putting a stop here and going to episode 1, listening to that and start there, because I ask a really powerful reflection question to kick off this series. So you already know we're in the middle of a juicy little 5-part series. These episodes are different. They're shorter, they're spicier, and they give you an action item that you can think about for the week until the next episode drops. Okay, so the second biggest mistake that I see that keeps job seekers stuck is believing that you are the problem, when really it's your strategy. Are you blaming the lack of response that you're getting on yourself? So for example, maybe you're thinking, well, my experience it's not that great. Why would they call me back for this type of role? Or maybe I've been unemployed now, or maybe you have a gap on your resume, or you're new to the country, or maybe you don't have the right degree or designation. And you're like, that must be why I'm not getting those calls. And I want to stop you right there, because let's just think about that for a second. How mean are you being to yourself? You are blaming the results that you're getting on things that you don't know are the truth. And after reviewing hundreds and hundreds of resumes, I know that is likely not the case. It's actually your job search strategy that's getting you stuck. So let me stop you right there. I know it feels like the rejection is proof that you are not enough. And the rejection is proof that keeps you stuck in that self-doubt. So maybe you're thinking, I am just not ready for this. I don't have the experience. I don't have the right skill set. I don't have the right degree. I have gaps on my resume. Why would they pick me? And the truth is that you are not the problem, but your strategy is. So let's break this down. So blaming yourself and picking an aspect for whatever reason. I don't have enough experience. They probably have a more qualified person than me. This is your imposter syndrome speaking. And I want you to know that imposter syndrome is normal, especially when you are facing rejection and your mind starts to wonder, like, am I ready? Am I good enough? They have better people. Maybe I should give up. Maybe I'm not ready. I'm never going to land this role. And your mind starts racing. But I want you to know that that is not the truth. That is your fear showing up and trying to protect you. So let's pause for a moment. Are you holding yourself back by saying to yourself, maybe it's me? So here's what I want you to know. You are more ready than you think. And with the right tools and a clear plan, you can absolutely transform the results that you're getting, land those interviews that excite you, and you don't have to take that confidence hit. So here is what I want you to know about imposter syndrome. We all have over 60,000 thoughts every single day. And those are just thoughts. They are not the truth. They are not reality. It's just things that your mind tells you. And most of them are negative. So I want you to think about this. If you had your best friend in front of you and they're sharing their struggles with you for their search, they're saying, I'll never be able to find a role in this market. Or, things are really hard in my job search. I keep applying. I'm getting ghosted. Maybe I should take a role that I'm not really excited about. Or maybe I should ask for less. Or maybe I shouldn't expect to land an exciting role with a great company. Or maybe I should take a pay cut. And they're telling you all of this. What would you say? Would you say, yeah, you know what? It's probably you. You probably don't have the right experience. It's probably not going to work out. You should expect a pay cut. You should take a role at a company that doesn't excite you. You should expect less and lower your expectations. Would you say that to your friend? You probably wouldn't. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you absolutely wouldn't. That's exactly why I don't want you saying that to yourself either. Because how mean is that? You are just blaming yourself and saying you are the problem when that is absolutely not the case. You're just not using a strategy that works for your search. So instead, here's what I want you to do. When you have those negative thoughts pop up, I want you to first recognize that this is your imposter syndrome speaking. When you're blaming yourself, when you're saying, well, maybe I shouldn't apply because I didn't hear back from the last roles, or I don't have all of that experience, or this is such a great company. Why would they hire me? When you hear those thoughts come up, I want you to write them down. So even as you're applying, like take a pen and paper and just write down what thoughts are coming up for you. And then I want you to challenge those beliefs. I want you to know that these are just thoughts that are entering your mind and they are not the truth. And I want you to challenge them. So instead of saying, let's say, I'm not ready for this, I want you to instead challenge that to say, no, I've actually led this many projects. I have this much experience and I'm ready for that role, even if I'm not seeing those results and they're not calling back. So let me ask you this. Have you ever held yourself back from applying because you felt like you were underqualified? Or maybe you hesitated to reach out to someone on LinkedIn because you thought they wouldn't respond. Or maybe you're thinking, what if I fail? Like, what if I keep applying? I put myself out there. I get excited about moving into this dream role and then I fail. I don't actually land that role. Or maybe your self-doubt sounds like, what if I fail? What if there's someone else that's better for this? And the truth is that self-doubt isn't fact. It's just a story that we tell ourselves. So I want you to take a moment and write that down. I want you to write down the belief that's holding you back that is not the truth. And then I want you to actually challenge it with a fact about something that proves it wrong, something that you've achieved. So for example, here's one that I love to play with, and I do this all the time when I have a negative thought. And I have personally tried to work on negative thoughts for many, many years. I have so many different approaches that have worked for me, like journaling and really reflecting and taking that time. But something that works for me is playing the what if game. So say you have a negative thought and it comes into your mind and it's something like, well, what if they have a better candidate and they don't call me back? But what if you flip that and you ask yourself instead? So I would write down that limiting thought and then I would flip it and I would ask myself, okay, but what if they do? What if I apply and I land the interview and I land that dream role? What if this is the one application that changes everything for me? And I want you to flip that because self-doubt could be the reason you're self-sabotaging yourself. Like, I really want to, apply, but what if I fail? So flip that. What if you don't? So remember, those self-doubt thoughts that are entering your mind, they're just a story that we tell ourselves. So if you're holding yourself back, you might be doing this based on a belief that's not even true. This is what I see the most. Sometimes we can't see clearly our own value, right? We've been beat down through the search. It's been hard. We've been rejected. We went on interviews that we thought went well. They didn't end up going anywhere. And what ends up happening is we beat ourselves up for based on that. And sometimes we're so close to our own situation that we only remember the negative. And that's normal. And we forget all of the amazing strengths in our profile. Sometimes I had a client recently, her name was Chrissy. And I remember in our first one-on-one, as soon as we met, I was so impressed by her profile. She had landed incredible internships. She had an amazing story to tell. But when I talked to her, I could see like her shoulders were like all scrunched up and she just didn't have that confidence to know she was an amazing candidate. And I remember telling her like, someone is going to be so freaking lucky to hire you. Do you realize that? But she had been so beat up by the process, she forgot how incredible she was, and she needed that reminder. P.S. She ended up landing multiple offers, and she had a choice to select where she goes next because she used a proven strategy and it changed everything. But in the process, I could see that her self-doubt was limiting her and she needed that reminder. So I want you to be your own advocate. I want you to be your own advocate. If you don't have me looking at your profile and reminding you how amazing you are through our coaching, then I want you to do it for yourself. I want you to go back and remind yourself what a badass you are. And I want you to look at yourself clearly, not through the lens of the negative recent experiences or how hard the market's been or that rejection. I want you to see yourself clearly. So here are some questions you can ask yourself. What is the number one thing I'm proud of in my experience so far? How did I help solve a problem in my last role? If I got this role, how do I know I would do an incredible job? And I want you to really think about that last one. So for a job that you really want, I want you to write down, how do you know you would do an incredible job? Is it because you've done it before and you've had incredible results at your last company? Is it because you're super hardworking and you would do whatever it takes to get incredible results because that is just who you are? Is it because you've been promoted in your career in the past? Is it because you've done it before successfully? Like, what are those things that make you know that you would do an incredible job? And I want you to remind yourself of that. So confidence, this is building your confidence in your job search. Confidence doesn't come from feeling ready. It comes from taking those small actions. So I want you to know it's not you. It's the stories that you are telling yourself that are holding you back. And I want you to rewrite those stories with truth because this is going to build your confidence and your confidence is going to improve just like Chrissy's did once you remind yourself of that. This week, here is your homework. I want you to take 10 minutes to ask yourself those questions in this episode. And I want you to really break down the beliefs that have been holding you stuck. And I want you to reframe them into the positive. Play that what if game. And then I also want you to ask yourself, are you blaming yourself for how your job search is going? Because it's not you, it is your strategy. Are you holding yourself back thinking, maybe it's me? Maybe it's my experience. Maybe it's my qualifications, my education. Maybe it's because I was laid off. Maybe it's because I have a gap on my resume. And here's what I want you to know. You're more ready than you think. With the right tools and the right strategy, your job search will transform. And I need you to know that. So I'd love to know if these episodes are resonating with you. You can comment right on Spotify and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Also, you can always DM me. I'd love to hear what you think of these shorter episodes that are like these spicy, quickie little episodes. Or if you prefer those longer masterclass styles, I'd love to hear what you think. And remember, next week, we are breaking down the third biggest mistake that I see job seekers make over and over and over again that is keeping them stuck. So I will see you in the next episode. Hey, before you go, if you've enjoyed listening to today's show, I would love your support. Please take a moment to leave a review anywhere where you listen to podcasts. And here's the exciting part. I'm running a special contest and giving away a one-on-one session with yours truly. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and send it to me in my DMs. All of my contact info is in the show notes. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait to build the career and life that you've been craving together. See you next week.